Good evening and welcome to another installment of St. Anna's Episcopal Church Mission to Musicians 2, our tip jar ministry, which is here to support the musicians of New Orleans by allowing them to perform in our space and get their music out there. Tonight we have a very special guest, Mr. John Rankin, on guitar and vocals and harmonica, and he's going to give us a little New Orleans and a little Americana. He's going to do some of his own original tunes. And we're especially excited because St. Anna's has a benefit on October 24th, and Mr. Rankin is one of our guest performers. He will have a segment. The benefit is going to be a virtual benefit, and there will be a special URL that you can log into on the 24th, and we're going to tell the story of the work that we do here in the Treme for this neighborhood, the work that we do for the musicians, and the work that we do for the children of this community. But tonight, we're going to celebrate some great music brought to us by a wonderful musician. So kick back, have a drink of wine, or whatever your elixir of choice may be. Throw some steaks on the grill because the weather looks nice for a few more weeks, and enjoy the music of Mr. John Rankin.
Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate it, and I'm so happy to be here tonight. It's going to be all instrumental tonight, and kind of like my French Quarter Fest sets. It's kind of based on that. My set was canceled in 2018 because of rain, and in 2019 they eliminated the stage I was on. So in 2020, of course, was eliminated because of the pandemic. So so nice to be here and start off with something that makes me feel like belongs in this church. Here's a song dedicated, something that I put together, dedicated to the guitarist that I stole the ideas from. Mississippi John Hurt, Chet Atkins, Snooks Eaglin, and let's see, who was the fourth one? Did I say Mississippi John Hurt? Chet Atkins. Oh, and Django Reinhardt for the flat 2-chord. And it's called Django Jingle. Here's something else I wrote. I put on the same album, which is called Last in April. We'll get to that song later. And it's called Her Eyes. All right. You know, I can't see that at all. Daryl, I mean, there's no way. Daryl's holding up a sign in the back. You're going to have to bring it all the way up. Oh, give me money. Give me money. Sorry, I can't see with the lights and everything. I can't see anything. Okay, back to Thumbback. I was on my way to a concert in Ashland, Kentucky for my friends Trish and Roger. And we were driving down the road, beautiful roads, and saw this sign that said loose gravel. And I don't know why, but it has stuck in my head all these years. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. And so I wrote this song. It's called Loose Gravel. right, let's see how we're doing. Okay. Here's one that I dedicate to Chet Atkins. He had a big part in my creativity in this song. And they canceled this year, but there's a wonderful meeting of the Chet Atkins Appreciation Society in Nashville in the summer. And what a hoot, and what a great non-commercial just love fest. And I went to 2 of those. This year was canceled, of course, so kind of is what gave me the inspiration for this, seeing so many of his arrangements. And it's called Chet Room. Chet Room? Here's Jack's back there. I got a clap. There's 2. The room goes wild. 3. That's enough, please. I'll be embarrassed. Here's one from James Booker, the great piano prince of New Orleans. And when I say piano prince, I should very humbly say that it's a challenge to adapt it to the guitar. So I had to leave out an awful lot of notes. I hope I'm keeping the money notes. So we'll see. Pop's Dilemma. trying to keep these arrangements short tonight. I don't want to go too far out and lose you. And I've got so many songs I want to do. My list started out at 28. Now it's down to 15 or 16, and I know I don't have time for all of them, so I'll shut up and play. Here is from since 1872, the official anthem of Mardi Gras, meaning the Rex song. If you've ever watched the Rex Court on TV or in person, they play this song for hours on end. And fortunately, this will be shorter, and also in 3/4 time. And it's called If Ever I Cease to Love. All right. Oh. There's a couple of spots where I'm going to need to tune tonight, and this is one of them. As soon as I get it in tune, I'm going to switch guitars and tune that one too. I know you've been waiting for that all night. Yes. Sorry, that was a hot jack. I'm sorry. I thought I turned it off, Jack. You know, I think I'm like most artists. There's a term that I've only applied to myself in the last few years because I really am trying to do something. I think in another 40 years I might have it together. And these are, I'm going to play 2 songs for you that I wrote 2 weeks ago. And the first one is called Little Brother, dedicated to my little brother Wade, who's not so little anymore, but he's still my younger brother. And the other one is called Waltz for Tommy. All right, here we go. Okay, doing pretty good here. Here's New Orleans song from the Meters. Sissy Strut. Here's a song that is a Appalachian ballad. It's known as an Appalachian ballad called "The Water Is Wide." It's also in some hymnals as "Wally Wally," and it's just a beautiful melody. Well, big retuning now. Because I've got to retune every string, basically. You can find me, by the way, on Facebook. I have a show Monday nights from 6 to 7. And you can find it at John Rankin Guitar. My page is John Rankin Music. If you do at John Rankin Guitar, you'll find it. Or I have another page that's John Rankin, my personal page. This is the big one here. See, now the guitar is going to be mad at me, so it's going to go totally out of tune. If I do it now, I just got to do it one more time. It's so nice to be here in this church. I don't know if you know much about it, but if you're not at the page right now, you should check it out. It's a church that does a lot for musicians and the community. They're rebuilding a beautiful old house down here on Rampart at Claiborne for a children's center. That's a pretty amazing project, and it's got a bunch of blue tarps on the roof right now, so it's in tough shape. But many musicians belong to this church and come here or perform in the choir. And around town, I think you'd have to call this the Musicians' Church. And I really appreciate Daryl and Jack helping us out today. Let's see, what do we got next? Oh, how's our time? 10 minutes. All right, we're going to cut that one. All right, we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Put another bass on here. This one's dedicated to Jesse Fuller, Mr. Fadella. So this is Mr. Fadella. That was a steamer trunk that he invented. He put bass drum pedals on it and played that with his left foot, or his right foot rather. With his left foot, he played a sock cymbal, and then he had a harmonica and a kazoo around his neck. He was a one-man band, and he was a great one. He wrote, "I Got the Blues for My Baby Down by the San Francisco Bay. Take it slow and easy if you want to get along with me." Real inspiration to me because he combined the blues and that happy New Orleans sound. We have happy blues in New Orleans. We don't have those kind of Chicago blues, you know. It's called Mr. Fadella. let's see how we do it. I got two more for you. Maybe three if we have extra time, but we'll go for two for now. And this one, my lovely wife, Patrice, requested. I've been working on this, just as a kind of different project. You might recognize this from Dave Brubeck, Take 5. How's our time? All right, it's pretty good, actually. Only had to cut one song. So that's good. Thank you so much for your time and attention, possibly your tips. That's all right. You don't have to worry about that. So much is just enjoying yourself as much as you can under these circumstances. I'm playing in this beautiful church, and there's 3 people here with me, and it's thank goodness for those people, because it's what really makes a difference for me. I have somebody to play to. Plus, Jack is out there working on the sound, and Daryl too. Perfect. This is unusual tuning. I actually learned the tuning of this from Jorge Morel, who's an Argentine guitarist who had a piece arranged in it. For guitar nuts, it's E, G sharp, and B, a root third and fifth in the bass, and the rest of the strings are normal. And it was actually inspired, it put together with a rhythm that I heard in kind of a 12/8 pattern from one of the South African bands that came to Jazz Fest. And I'm afraid I don't remember the name, but the rhythm pattern was fantastic, and I wrote it down and practiced it, and it eventually came out to be a dedication to Jazz Fest. Now, Jazz Fest is always the same weekends, the last weekend in April and the first weekend in May. So this is called Last in April, First in May, and kind of tribute to the blending of New Orleans culture and South African culture, because there's a lot there. And thank y'all for listening so much. And you guys too, not just y'all. Thank you all so much. Good night. Thank you.